Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to Akim and Akwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. Today's lesson is titled Jacob's Trouble, Coming Soon to a Place Near You. Once again, Jacob's Trouble coming soon to a place near you. All right, and this is kind of a follow-up. It's not really a sequel, all right, but it's a follow-up to yesterday's lesson, which was titled Bricks Are Being Laid for the Famine of the Word. And in that lesson, we talked about some things that were going on with the Supreme Court, all right, and the allowing the White House to do this and that. We talked about how that eventually it's going to go into Jacob's trouble, right? But I didn't really go in too much on Jacob's trouble. I believe I might have said that that's a topic for another day in the lesson. I might have said that. I might not have, but I believe we went into it a little bit. We went talked about the famine of the word and Jacob's trouble and all that. But I didn't really talk about Jacob's trouble or get too many Jacob's trouble scriptures. So today I was, staring at my notes, thinking, just weighing it through the spirit and kind of meditating spiritually to try to figure out what to do. And, this is what, was sent, okay, was, Jacob's trouble coming soon to a place near you, dealing with Jacob's trouble, man. Because Jacob's trouble is not something to be taken lightly. Now, if you are of the elect, you'll make it through just fine, right? But we're hoping to be part of the elect, all right? Right now, we're the hopeful elect, okay? Well, right now, we're the hopeful elect, which we call ourselves. We'd still be, if we were of the elect, we'd still be of the elect now, but we don't know for sure that we are. That's why we call ourselves hopeful elect, the hopeful elect, okay? Now, we're in this truth, all right? We have this understanding, which means the Most High is dealing with us, so it's looking good for us, but there's no way to say, oh, yeah, we're 100% part of the elect. There's no way to say, all right? We got to keep on, in a straight way, in a straight path. All right, and hope Yahweh Shemiao Shai keeps us in this thing and doesn't spit us out, because that can happen. Okay, there are people that are in this truth for a time and a season, and then something happens. All right, one way or another, however Yahweh Shemiao Shai wanted it to happen, and it causes that person to fall out of the truth. All right, there's something said that they disagree with. All right, or they get found out that they've been saying something that they shouldn't have been saying, or doing things that they shouldn't have been doing. So, or one thing or another, your heart was never in it, or however it goes, one way or another. And we're hoping that does not become us. All right, we hope our heart's in this for the right reason. We continue on, and don't end up bugging out over one thing or another. All right, we're hoping that we continue on the straight path. All right, and not try to mess up or anything like that. But that's all through Yahweh Shemiao Shai. So all we can do is hope and pray. All right, and hope and pray. And there's nothing wrong with thinking that you're that you could be part of the elect. All right, matter of fact, that's what being hopeful is, and that's the mindset you're really supposed to be in. All right, you don't want to be essentially putting curses on yourself and saying oh, I'm not a part of the elect. I'm not a part of the elect. That's not a mindset you want to have. What an annoying fucking instrumental. Slack you for that. Whoever put that in there ought to be fucking shot. Anyway, continuing on, it kind of fucking threw me off track. That was annoying as shit. But so all we can do is pray and hope, and and that's what being hope. That's what hope is. All right, we've gotten the definition several times. All right, go and look up the definition of hope if you want to see it again. Okay. You got to be confidence, all right? And it's not confidence where it's hubris. I'm a part of the elect. No, but there's nothing wrong with it's looking hopeful for me. Oh, you're a part of the 2/3. And then battling with demons, and you say no. Well, it's looking better for me than it is for all these people in the world. Okay, so you got to keep yourself in that mindset, because the demons will most definitely try to mess with you. Try to say you're a 2/3. You're a 2/3. Well, the 2/3 are too busy getting wild and smoking black and milds. Okay, so it's looking good for you if you're in this truth, but you can't take it to the level of saying, well, yes, I'm 100% part of the elect. Can't do that either. All right, we have to hope. We need Yahweh Shemiao Shai. Okay, we need Yahweh Shemiao Shai, especially now. All right, especially when Jacob's trouble comes. Okay, if you don't have the Lord, now you're in a bad situation. But if you don't have the Lord in Jacob's trouble, you're in a very, very terrible and awful situation. Okay, you're in a very terrible and awful situation. You need the Lord. Okay, and it'd be wise, okay, to get on good on, what do they call it? On good, in good standing. We'll just say in good standing, on the good side, or in good standing with the Lord now. Okay, because Jacob's trouble is coming, and you can either go without help or you can go with help. So the choice is, well, I'd say the choice is yours to make, but it's really not. The choice is the Lord's to make. All right, but you have the illusion of free will. So we're going to go ahead and start up with Daniel 12:1, right? And it reads, and today is probably, I don't know how long it's going to go, 30-ish, 40-ish minutes. I'm just going to touch these topics and then close out. Just showing you what Jacob's trouble is, how bad it's going to be, and who's going to get saved out of it. Simple, straight to the point, right? Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up. Now, who is Michael? Michael is the lead angel under Yahushai, all right, and is the angel of war. All right, the angel of war. All right, again, he's the lead angel, the head angel under Yahushai. Right, he's under Yahushai, and he is the angel of war. What's going to happen when he stands up? And at the time, Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book of what? The book of life, right? It's like indigestion, drinking Esau's coffee and, eating Esau's food that he has for us here, right? What's it going to do? It's good, but, everything in the food, gives you indigestion, and in our bodies, there's another thing. So we're waiting to get out of here too. So, our bodies can't handle so much as, a little bit of cheese. You get an upset stomach and you're in the bathroom for an hour, So that's just how it goes. But continuing on, at that time, Michael stand up. All right, so this is when he's implemented. He's ready to go. Right. It says, and well, I guess we'll read it all in its entirety. I wanted to touch some points here, but it says, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So it's going to be worse than it's ever been. All right, it's going to be worse than it's ever been. We cannot begin to explain how bad it's going to be. All right, we can tell you that there's going to be grapings, there's going to be murderings and stabbings and stealings and people getting slain and chopped in half. All right, there's going to be people with their eyeballs getting popped out of their goddamn skulls. All right, but we can say those things, but we can't begin to describe how bad it's going to be. As I've always used the example, I can tell you what it's like to go to a concert because I've been there, okay? Just as some brothers might be able to tell you what it's like to go to an NFL game live. I've never been to an NFL game live, okay? So I can explain to that brother that's been to an NFL concert, an NFL game, what it's like to go to a concert, but he'll never truly understand because he's never been to a concert. And that brother can explain to me about how an NFL game is, but I'll never truly understand because I've never been to an NFL game. Okay, and we can begin to explain, okay, how Jacob's trouble is going to be. But even as us explaining it, we're explaining it through Scripture. We have not been through it. Okay, so we cannot begin to really. We can emphasize how bad it's going to be through Scripture. There's going to be people getting killed and murdered and dead bodies, everything, right? But we can't really begin to instill in you what it's going to be like, because ourselves have not been through this yet, neither have you. So while we can stress that it's very, very bad, just like with a concert, it's very loud, and the bass comes on, boom, 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 you can feel it through your body, it kind of reverberates through your body, depending on where the PA stacks are, or the audio and how good the guy mixing is. It might have a little tinny sound. It might be bad, just depending. You know, the lights are crazy. You can begin to, okay, you can try to get a picture of it. Okay, I see, yeah. But you don't understand what that bass line feels like when it goes through your body. You don't. You can imagine it, but you don't know what it really feels like. Okay? You don't know when you feel it go through the ground and up your legs and through your body. And you're like, oh, fuck. Almost makes you want to feel like you want to vomit for a minute because it's so, if they have the bass up really loud, right? So, you can explain that all day, but have you ever felt that feeling? You know? So that's why you got to realize we can sit here and give you the example and the scriptures. That's all we have, right? Is just through the Spirit and through the scriptures of how bad Jacob's trouble is going to be. But it has not happened yet. All right? No one has lived through Jacob's trouble yet. All right? Because it has not happened. And we know it's going to be the worst time ever. The only thing you can really do is think of all the bad things you've gone through. All right, all the terrible things you've gone through. Even in the brothers might have even been two terrible things. Some brothers might have been in the military through war. They might have been able to see dead bodies up and close. Hell, you might have come from a really rough part of the ghetto, bro. You might have came from O-Block. Okay, you might have seen dead bodies and people getting shot in the street at the same time. But realize it's even going to be worse than that. So you truly understand how bad it's going to be. Now, your mind can grasp it, but you have not lived it yet. That's why you need to get prepared now through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay? So, like it says, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And it's going to be a very, very, very bad time with all the bad things you can think of, all the terrible and death and destruction and dying and suffering you might have seen so far. Imagine now that it's going to be way, way, way worse than that. And you can only go to that extent, okay? No one will know how truly terrible it's going to be until we're going through it and say, oh shit, so this is exactly how it's going to be. This is because the scriptures can give us an idea, okay? If it's just like, you can explain, certain things, and I hope I'm getting this across well. I hope it's coming across well because I'm trying to explain it in the methods that I can, okay? And I hope it's hitting in your understanding because there's only so much we can explain about how this time is going to be because we have not been there yet. All right, we only have the descriptions of it. All right, stressing that. So realize it's going to be very, very bad. And no matter how much we say, oh, there's going to be bodies and women being raped and men being, beat down the street and people being torn in half and, and all these different things, it sounds terrible. Realize it's going to be more terrible than that. That's just to the extent that we can describe it. It's going to be worse than that. Okay? And then it goes on to say, and at that time thy people shall be delivered. Who is thy people? Thy people, the Israelites, but most notably the elect. All right, like it says, everyone that shall be found written in the book. All right, the elect. Okay, the Lord's got a list. All right, of who's His people and who's not His people. And I don't know if it's an actual physical list, but the book of life, right? So that's how it's going to be. And if you're not written within the book, not looking so good for you, Jack, as they used to say, right? So let's get Matthew 24 and 21 through 22. Slack you. So, Matthew 24 and 22 through 20. Matthew 24 and 21 through 22, starting with verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation." Let's stop. Tribulation. What is tribulation?
Tribulation.
All right, a state of great trouble or suffering. There you go. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. The flood, worse than that. Sodom and Gomorrah, worse than that. All the other terrible things that have happened, worse. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. All the troubles that we went through in the original, old Egypt, worse, right? Worse. The flood, man. The flood. It's going to be worse than the flood. The flood, man. Can you believe that? It's going to be worse than that. Okay? So, worse than Sodom and Gomorrah and the brimstone raining down. It's going to be worse. And we know those stories. We've read them. It's going to be worse than that. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. It's going to be the worst time that's ever happened, and that will ever happen. Okay? Because after that, of course, the kingdom's coming, and, you know, Jacob's not going to be going through things like that anymore. We're going to be fixed. So imagine that, man. It's going to be worse than anything. Not just biblical stories, but it's going to be worse than the flood. It's going to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. It's going to be worse than World War I. It's going to be worse than World War II. It's going to be worse than that whole situation that happened in you know, in September of that one year. All right, it's going to be worse than anything ever. Anything ever. 2019 and 2020 was a terrible time. We were stuck inside. It's going to be worse than that. It's going to be worse, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. That's how bad it's going to be. In verse 22, and it says, except those days be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved. If the Lord didn't shorten those days when that time comes, everyone would die. Okay? But, continuing on, it says, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Because if those days weren't shortened, you know, theoretically, and theoretically it doesn't mean nothing, but if the days weren't shortened, even the elect would die. All right? But those days will be shortened. Like, that's why it says, and except those days be shortened, there shall be no flesh saved. That means if they didn't shorten, if he didn't shorten the days, even the elect wouldn't make it. That's how bad it would be. That's what no flesh saved means. But like it says, but for the elect's sake, because he loves his elect, he trusts his elect, he you know, that's his chosen people. So for their sake, so they can survive, those days shall be shortened. You realize how bad that's going to be? You realize it's except those days be shortened, because the days feel like they're getting shorter. They are getting shorter, and they're going to get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Okay? Because for the elect's sake. Okay? You're gonna wake up and time for bed. You know, that's how it is, man. You have no time in a day anymore, man. There's no time in a day. Okay? You wake up, have a cup of coffee, go to work, come home, boom, time to go to bed and do it again. That's it. Your day off, wake up, have a cup of coffee, you know, watch your lessons, make your lessons, go do, boom, time, that's it, time to bed, go, do next day off, boom, and then back to work. That's how it goes, man. The boom, 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 boom. At one after another, one after another, one after another, one after another. Months going by like days. Years going by like months. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Just the other day, it was 2019. Just the other day, it was 2020, man. Just the other day, I remember I used to work at a GameStop, man. And it's been a long time since then. And sometimes I'm like, man, that was just the other day. Nope. That stretches back, you know, quite a few years now. Wait. Almost going on 5 years now. God damn. It's crazy. So, that's all, you know, and yeah. So the days are shortening, man. It's crazy. You just have to ponder. I'm like, God damn, has it really been that long? I didn't think it'd been that long, but yeah, you know. I think, you know, it might have been like 2019 or something when I got the job, but still, you know, the beginning of it. It's crazy. Crazy, and I might be mistaken with time, but I believe it was around that time, or at least middle of 2019. But you know, it had to have been, because it was at least middle, because it was before the thing happened. All right, and I remember when it happened, everybody in the store, we were joking around, oh yeah, look at this, and then boom, and they were like, everybody stay in your fucking house. It's like, oh shit, and that's been, think about it, that's been almost in 2 months, that would have been 4 years from now, 2020. Next year, 2020, would be 4 years. Can you imagine how the time, except those days be short, boom, 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 boom. Time just fucking flying by. Can you imagine that? 2020 was 4 years ago now, basically, essentially. Take 2 months. Give 2 months, right? Because we're in, you know, we got 2 more months until December. Or, well, actually, we'll say 3 months because, you know, January, if you don't count New Year's, right? So, you know, in 3 months, that it had been 4 years since the events in 2020. God damn, man. Crazy. 4 years. Whew. Where's the time gone? So, there you go. And think about how much prophecy has happened in those 4 years, man. Think about how much time has happened. You know, right around that time, I was just barely starting to, you know, get involved in this truth. Okay? Barely even starting to think. You know, that was right around the time the Most High actually messed my ass up, because I wasn't really coming because I knew of the truth. I was watching it, a little bit. I wasn't really doing much, so I wouldn't even consider myself really in the truth until just relatively recent, because I was still struggling with, addiction demons with nicotine and all that, right? Not smoking, but, nicotine, like pouches and all, gum and all those things, right? So, you gotta realize, man, time is going by fast, and it's, it's for the elect's sake, really, because when those days come, and you think it's fast now, it's gonna get way faster, okay? It's gonna get way faster for the elect's sake. So, Mark 13 and 19 through 20, it says, in verse 19, it says, "For in those days shall be affliction." You gotta stop and get that as well.
Affliction.
Something that causes pain or suffering, okay? We don't have to get all the different ones, but it can be plagues, sicknesses, illnesses, evils, right? Menaces, right? Affliction, something terrible, all right? Something that causes pain or suffering, right? "For in those days shall be affliction, for in those days shall be pain and suffering," right? "Such as was not from the beginning of the creation which Yahweh created unto this time, neither shall be." See how the last couple of scriptures, these three that we've gotten, well, these three different books, I should say, the book of Daniel, the book of Matthew, and the book of Mark, how they're saying the same thing, but they're saying it in a different way, in a different manner, so you can understand it. Since the creation, okay, since when Yahweh created the earth, all right, when he said, "Let there be light," and there was light, ever. It's going to be worse than ever. Since then, ever. It's the worst time ever. You got that? You understand it? Worst time ever. Everything you've been through that was bad. Oh, these are terrible times. Yeah, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. In verse 20, it says, "And except that the Lord hath shortened those days, no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen," because that's his chosen people. That's the elect. The elect is, the election, all right, the chosen, the remnant, right, his special people that he loves and has set aside, that we're hoping to be a part of. We're calling ourselves the hopeful elect because we're hopeful to be a part of that number, right? "Whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the day." Why? For the elect's sake. He had to do it. All right, he had to do it because he knew how bad it was going to be. Well, he didn't have to do it. He's the Lord, but he knows all things, so he knew that he would have to shorten the days, or else nobody would make it. Nobody would make it out alive because it's going to be so bad. You realize how, I don't even know what to say, honestly, about it. Like, there's just so many things that could, there's in the FEMA camps, man, the guillotines, the people getting chopped up, the women getting raped. I'm a strong, independent woman. You women are going to be getting raped on the hoods of cars and murdered after they're done with you, man. You realize how bad that's going to be? And you men that like to bat for the other team too. You little men with the hand flick. All right, you little zesty ass, looking a little sweet to me type guys, right? Those dudes, yeah, it's gonna be happening to you too, man. All right, it's gonna be happening to you too. So, and people, just all sorts of crazy shit. All you Jakes out there, well, the Edomites, they deserve to be, the white man is not the Edomite. I don't know. I'm using, well, that's what you Uncle Tom ass ninjas actually really sound like. I was using the white man voice, but it works for you too. That works for you too. I should have been using the Jake voice, but no, I'll use the Uncle Tom ass white man voice, man. All right, because that's how you. Well, I don't think that the white man deserves, all the punishment. That was in their past. They've changed. God loves everybody, and yeah, guess what? Jamal? Guess what? Frank is gonna bash your fucking head open with a hammer. All right, Frank is gonna. Guess what, Marcus? All right, guess what? Markel or Marquise. Guess what? Tony, Tom, and Brady are gonna bash your fucking heads open. All right, and probably cannibalize your black ass. All right, that's how it's gonna happen, man. All right, what do you mean black? You're so-called, right? No, you're black. You're just black. All right, you're void of light. You're void of light. All right, that's what black means. That's why we don't use it. But you're black. No, you're in the world. You're black. You're black. Okay, you acting like that? You're black. You're void of light. You have no knowledge. You have no understanding. You're dumb. All right. So yeah, guess what, Jamal? Yeah. What's his, who can we use? Donnie, all right, is gonna stab you to death, all right, All right. So he's my friend. Hey Jamal, you come here for a minute, buddy. Right around this corner, bap, right in the head. All right. That's how it's gonna go. And he was my friend. Well, yeah, no, he wasn't. He was never your friend, you fucking idiot. All right. And here, all you did this fucking Uncle Tomery for so goddamn long. You forgot who you're dealing with. The devil, man. The devil. You're dealing with the devil. But hey, some of you Jake's gonna have to learn the hard way, and the hard way is gonna be a fucking, a billy club or a Louisville slugger or a hammer or a wrench over your goddamn forehead, right in the temple, bap. All right, and then they're gonna eat you. All right, they're gonna eat you. The delectable Negro. That's who you're gonna be. All right, Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. This is red letter, right? Fear. So this is Yahushua speaking. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil. Who's the devil? Esau Edom. Who's Esau Edom? The so-called white man, right? The colonizers, the so-called Europeans, right? Those guys. All right, the guys with blonde hair and blue eyes, and sometimes brown hair and green eyes, right? Or sometimes they might even look like Jamal. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Some of our people, even in this truth, are going to be cast into prison. All right, and that can be in multiple different ways. You might go into an actual prison, or they're also going to be setting up in those concentration camps. All right, through FEMA. All right, FEMA. All right, there will be FEMA camps. Okay, and more than likely they'll be named because that's how they name FEMA camps. If you look at the FEMA camp name, they usually have it on the gate. But here's another one too. There's the FEMA zones, all right, which in Revelation what it talks about in the 10th part of the city fell. There are 10 FEMA zones, so that means basically all of Babylon has fallen. Just wanted to throw that in there while we're at it. But yes, if you look up FEMA camp, you can see, and these are just nicer ones. These aren't even how it's gonna be. Alright, you're gonna have, it's gonna be bad, man. They're gonna look like fucking prison blocks. Okay? They're gonna look like prison blocks. And it's not gonna be fun. Okay? It's not going to be fun. You probably won't even have a house. It'll probably just be like this with a big old gate. Alright, and fucking, that's how it's gonna be, man. Okay? And some of us might be through that. Some of us are going to be cast into prisons, all right, whether it's an actual prison or a FEMA camp, and some of us are going to get our heads chopped off too. And if that happens to me, it happens to me. Whatever, however it is. Esau's not going to scare me with a martyrdom. All right, they're not going to scare me with being martyred. I want to chop your head off. Go right ahead. Go right ahead, Esau. Cool. I really don't mind, all right? Because I'm sure while my flesh might be, a little concerned at the time being, that could be scary. It wouldn't be on me, so when, Yahweh Shem Yahushai puts the spirit on me to, feel, content, or, pulls the spirit off me right out of there, and, I'm already up in the chariots, and you're just, messing around with a body that doesn't even have a spirit in it, and it's just, being paraded around like a puppet, because the Lord can do those things. I'm not going to fear that. Okay, I'm not gonna fear that, because at the end of the day, if you do that, you know what you're giving me? You're giving me a VIP pass to the front row seats to your destruction. Okay, in the chariot, in the big old window in the chariot. All right, and I get to see Yahushai, and oh boy, you really did me one. Oh, now I'm in the chariots with Yahushai. Ooh, how terrible, awful. Ooh, you really did me one. Oh, you won, fucking idiots, dumbasses. You're gonna try to kill us. You don't realize that. What then? You killed us, and now we're with the Lord. There's your round of applause, Esau. How fucking dumb. Do you even realize how things work? You're gonna kill us? So you're gonna kill us and let us go directly to the Lord. Okay, ooh, scary. We don't fear you, fucking devils. Sure, you can torture us in our body, we fear that in a sense of, we don't fear you, but what if it's really painful? But the Lord can do anything and make it to where we don't feel that. Alright? So at the end of the day, Esau, you can't do shit. All right, and even if there was a torture, and say if it was very, very painful, which the Lord wouldn't allow happen to His elect, but let's just say for your theoretical little thing that there is. Okay, after you torture them and it's very terrible, it's very painful, and eventually they They succumb to their torturing and they die. Then what? Then, sure, it was terrible, but then what? Still, they're with the Lord. So you realize you have not done anything at the end of the day. Okay? And the Lord's going to take care of his elect. He's not going to allow them to just willingly just suffer. All right? You know, sure, they might have to go through certain things, but he has ways of making you not feel pain, or, you know, moving your mind away, or pulling the spirit out of you, and they're messing with a body that doesn't even have a spirit in it. These devils don't think about these things because the Most High is not in their thoughts. Okay? They don't ever think about the Lord. They don't think about his accomplishments. They don't think about what he can do. They don't think about what he has done. They don't think about these things. They think about money. Money. Like Mr. Krabs, all right? You know, I probably fucked up the voice, but that's what they think. Okay? So yeah, some of that is going to happen to us, all right? But like it says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Okay? And so Esau, there's really no way you can win this. You torture us, okay? That you still don't win. You try to kill us all, well, you won't be successful with that, so you still won't win. And you're gonna try to shoot guns and bombs and tanks at the Lord, and you're still not gonna win. You know, you could shoot a bullet at Yahushua and it's gonna, you know, the sound it makes when, you know, if you've ever, you know, heard a bullet like go off of a rock or something, it goes like a ricochet, you know. And, you know, oh, there he is, shoot at him. And that bullet flies right back and hits you right in the jugular. Blood spraying up like a fucking Tarantino film. As you're gurgling and shit. Yeah. And you think you're gonna, because it is happen. I'm not just making this up. They really do think, you know, to make war with him that sat. Yeah, in Revelation 19:19 it says, and I saw the beast, all right, you know, Esau in their system, right, and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and his army. So they're, you know, Babylon and their little armies and their little people, and, you know, and the kings of the earth and their little armies are going to try to fight the Lord and his angels. You know how fucking dumb that is? You know, shoot at him and you're going to hear, and it's going to bop, 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 bop. And, you know, the Lord could have that one bullet shatter into 5 little chunks and take out 5 people. You know, you dumbasses, you don't even realize how the... You know, didn't they have a part in, like, didn't they have a part in Captain America where they were shooting bullets at him and they were just flying off? He's, you know, the Lord's like a superhero like that. You can shoot as many bullets as you want him. You can shoot a nuke directly at his face, and guess what it would do? You want to know? Nothing. You want to know why? Because he controls all things. All right, and he's invincible. He's the Lord, man. What do you idiots? What do you think you're going to do to the Lord? You think a fucking bullet, a piece of metal is going to hurt the Lord? You think some explosive device is going to... No, he's the Lord. He allowed you to have those objects in the first place. But they're really going to think that... That's the hubris, man. That's the pride of these people. Shoot at them! All these guns going up. Just fucking taking people out. It's, you know, it's astonishing how, you know, how prideful, you know, Esau is. They really think that's going to do something. All you're gonna do is anger the Lord more. It's just, ugh. You fucking dummies, man. You know, you really, and it's just, it's almost humorous how they really think they're gonna be able to do something. You know, they really think they're gonna be able to pull something off. They think they're gonna be, in their mind, they probably think that when they shoot at the Lord, they're actually gonna kill him. And they're gonna say, look, the Lord's dead. Now we can continue on with our NW. No, that's, you guys have, like, brainwashed yourself, not brainwashed, because brainwashing is a good thing, brain dirtied. You have brain dirtied yourself. You have mind controlled yourself into thinking, you know, oh, man, I need a drink of coffee. Bear with me. These people, man, you know, it's like when people have lied to themselves so much that they really believe, you know, Jake, you know, I got a Hellcat at home. I got a Hellcat. It's like, yeah, I got a Hellcat. And then you're like, oh shit, wait, I really don't have it. That's a lie, right? That's a lie. I've been lying to myself. Oops, you know. And that Esau have really been lying to themselves so much that they really think that they're gonna be able to, like, win against the. That shows you the just not. It shows you the pride and the stupidity of these people, man. All right, but it's gonna be a terrible, 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 terrible time. It's gonna be awful. Okay. This is Amos 5 and 18, 5 and 20. So you Jake need to be prepared too. You Jakes need to be. Well, I'm an Israelite. Okay. Well, what type of Israelite are you? Are you an Israelite that's handing out pamphlets at a Smith's? Okay. Down the street? Yeah. Me and my wife last night going to get some dessert, right? And we weren't going to the store, but we drove past the Smith's. It's like a Fry's. It's a Kroger brand store, in case you brothers don't know, because they're not. I've lived many other places besides Nevada, and they don't call them Smith's. In Arizona, they're called a Fry's. And then my wife and her, where they're from, they over there they call it just a Kroger, which I didn't know. I was like, Kroger? That's weird, because it is just the brand, but that they call it a Kroger. So a lot of your brothers be familiar and sisters be familiar with that. So we were driving by that, and lo and behold, a dude with a fringed black T-shirt walked out, and that was interesting. And another guy walked out, and I didn't see too much because my wife was on one side, I was on the other side, and she said, "Oh crap!" She said, I can't remember what she said. She's like, she's like, "Oh hell, it's IUIC," because she's a follower of this truth as well. She's Israelite woman. She believes in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and of course we follow after Great Millstone. All right, and she was in this truth actually a little bit before I was in it. So, but following GMS, and I was like, what? So I didn't see, but she said on the other side there was a guy in a purple shirt that said IUIC in it with the fringes. But these guys had like black shirts, and then we were talking about on the way out, like maybe they have different tiers or something. I don't know how IUIC works. All right, but they're handing out pamphlets. All right, what are you, that type of Israelite? Are you at a Smith's handing out pamphlets? It's just a little ridiculous to me. And the other thing is they can't discern, because they looked up in the car. One of the guys saw me. I got a little bit of footage, but I didn't get too much because by the time we already drove past it. But one of the dudes looked directly at me in the eyes, and he was gonna hand a pamphlet, and then he walked past because he saw what I looked like. And little do you know, you can't go about life like that. Okay, you know how many people you're probably missing because and my wife was even saying this. He's probably missing a bunch of people because he's not handed out to people that look like you, and it's true. It's true. Little does he know that I make lessons, and then well, you wouldn't want to deal with me anyway. Because he would ask, how'd you find out? And I'd be like, oh, GMS. Probably try ripping that pamphlet back out of my hand. Anyway, I was curious. I wanted to see what was in the pamphlet, but I didn't get one because, the color of my skin, brothers. I was I was racially profiled. But, and so, and she also went on to say, my wife, she went on to say that, they're probably handing them off to Hamites too. Here you go. And it's true. So, are you Israelites ready for it? Because there's a lot of people. I'm an Israelite because I'm an Israelite. Because I'm an Israelite. Remember that? Yeah. Are you one of them? All right. Or are you a brother or sister in this truth? All right. Are you even following the right people? Are you following ISUPK or IUIC or GOCC or Sakari, or are you following GMS? Who are you following? Who are you following? Are the right ones GMS, or are you following some wacky, do whatever we want camp? Okay? That hands out pamphlets at Smith's. So, oh man. So, in Amos 5:18 for y'all, alright? Through 20. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. I want the day of the Lord to come so bad. Alright? Do you? Do you though? Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. And I'm not saying, and I'll explain it after. Let me read it. So, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light? Even very dark and no brightness in it? So, you people, all right, that are hoping for the day of the Lord, and I'm not talking about, the brothers and sisters that are truly in this thing, but do you know what end it is for you? Do you know are you in the right spot? Are you ready for the day of the Lord? Or you say you desire the day of the Lord, like the apostles and elders of Great Millstone desire the day of the Lord. But look what state they're in. They're in a good state, okay? They're in a good state. Now look at, ISUPK, and General Mahayaman. Now, do you think they're ready for the day of the Lord? No, not at all. Okay, it's gonna be very terrible for them. But they're waiting for the day of the Lord, but they don't realize how awful it's going to be for them. Okay? And no matter, how, I don't think anybody feels like they're prepared enough, but I feel like everybody feels like they could, be in a better state, to do even better, because that's how we think, at least the people that are following after Great Millstone. All right? We could always, there's always room for improvement. If you're never going to be perfect, there's always room for improvement, right? So, but are you in a state where you would feel comfortable enough being in that situation? Okay? You got to ask yourself that. All right, I'm even still wary about it, I want to be in a better state. I want to be in a better way, right? So, these people that, I desire the day of the Lord for sure. When they're, and I would say, yes, I myself, I do desire the day of the Lord. All of us do. Well, those that follow GMS. But these guys that are saying that they do, and they don't, they're still, still smoking or smoking weed, or committing adultery, or doing all this wickedness, or all these other things, or teaching false doctrines. Are you ready? You think you're ready? It's not going to be good for you, man. It's a day of darkness, man. So Jacob's trouble, man. It's not something to be taken lightly. Okay? But the elect, all right, the elect will be delivered, all right, and we're hoping to be part of that number. This is Revelation 3:10. It says, and it's red letter, so it's Yahushua speaking. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So if if you keep the word of the Lord's patience, and you're doing what he wanted you to do, he's going to keep you from the hour of temptation. All right, he's going to protect you. He's going to save you, right? If you're of the elect. So, and it's all the people of the world are going to have to go through this, man. Okay? And most notably, Babylon's going to be, oh man, it's going to be awful. Because Babylon's going to be hit with a multitude of nukes, man. So it's going to be especially bad, and coming soon to a place near you. And I got a little thing that says coming soon to Babylon, all right? Because it's gonna be very bad here, because that's where the FEMA camps and all the the blunt of of all of this terribleness is going to be, is in Babylon. Okay, and the majority of Jacob's trouble, right? The majority of Jacob is in Babylon. So there you go. There's Jake everywhere, but the majority of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are in Babylon. All right, America. It says Isaiah, United States specifically, really. It says Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, because, and so we got that, the Lord's going to keep you in those days because you trusted in him. So he's going to deliver you for that. That's your reward. Here's Isaiah 65:13, because in those days, there's going to be famines, man. Yesterday we were talking about famine of the word. Well, in Jacob's trouble, there is actually going to be a famine. People are not going to be eating, okay? Unless, what? Well, let's read it. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. You're going to be embarrassed, man. You're going to be ashamed. You're going to be ashamed. So, unless you're of the elect, you're not making it through Jacob's trouble. Okay? Let me say that again. Unless you're of the elect, you are not making it through Jacob's trouble. And Lord willing, I myself, as well as you diligent brothers and sisters out there, the apostles and elders, Great Millstone on down, are part of the elect, and we make it. That's what we're hoping for, right? I'm rooting for you. Hopefully you're rooting for me, right? We're all rooting for each other. That's how it goes, man. We want to see each other make it. We don't want to see each other fall. All right, and that goes for everyone. We don't even want to necessarily see these other camps go, man. And that's and they have to because of their wickedness. But it would be great to see these other camps repent and start teaching the whole truth. All right, but it's just, we know through Scripture that's not how it's going to happen, man. Okay, so only the elect is going to make it, and this is proof. Ezekiel 14:12 that the elect will make it through anything. All right, Ezekiel 14 and 12 through 23. Okay, let's try to get it all on screen. Here we go, right there. All right. Ezekiel 14 in verse 12. the word of the Lord came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and will set famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. So what he's saying is, when when the world's doing all these wicked things and awful things and trespassing against all the things that I've said to them, I told them to do this, I told them to go right and they went left, I told them to stand up, they sat down. I'm gonna stretch out my hand, and I'm gonna make it to where there's no food and there's no water, and I'm gonna cut them off from it, every man and beast, animal from it, and they're not gonna get it. In verse 14 it says, though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord Yahweh. Noah, Daniel, and Job are an example of the men of the elect, remnants, right? Verse 15, if I cause noisome beasts. So Noah, Daniel, and Job, this is speaking of the elect. These three men, the elect, right? Noah, Daniel, and Job. These are elect men. Okay, so this chapter is talking about them. Okay, chapter 14 is talking about them, but it's also applying to the elect. So the elect are going to go through things like this, and just like Noah, Daniel, and Job, they're going to be saved. It says in verse 15, if I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beasts, though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, they only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate, gone, barren, through. Verse 17, or if I bring a sword, death, destruction, dying, right? Or if I bring a sword upon that land, and say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it, though these three men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. Or if I send a pestilence, disease, right, into that land, and pour out my fury upon it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter, they shall deliver but their own souls by their righteousness. Let me grab a drink of water, coffee in this case. Not that you need to, specifically know, but I want to make sure I said water. It's good for the brain. All right, 21. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, how much more when I send my 4 sword judgments upon Jerusalem? These are the 4 sword judgments right here. The sword, and the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence to cut off from it man and beast. Here you go, verse 22, and this is the heavy hitter. This is almost the point right here. Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant. Let's pause. Click pause on the remote. Let's go over here. Remnant.
Remnant.
A small remaining quantity of something. Those that are remaining. Remaining? What do you mean remaining? Remaining because all the other ones died. Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and ye shall see their way and their doings, and ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. And they shall comfort you when you see their ways and their doings, and ye shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, saith the Lord Yahweh. Jacob's trouble coming soon to a place near you, and unless you're a part of that remnant, that very small number, the elect, you're not going to make it. So pray, repent, get on good terms with Yahweh Shem Shai. It's coming, man. And Lord willing, I myself, as well as you brothers and sisters out there, are delivered from that. We're seen as in a good light to Yahweh Shem Shai. And hey, Lord willing, we all meet up in the chariots, right? So hey, with that, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Badash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me the truth and rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, Shalom.